how do I apologize for this? Let me see. Admit all. Hang on, I'm gonna 3 o'clock this morning, 3 past 3 this morning. I thought my little one who'd come and hopped in bed between me and mum at bedtime, the start of the night at 3 o'clock. I thought she was getting up to go to the toilet. She's standing on top of me, and then I realized she's not going to the toilet. We're in the middle of an earthquake. 5 miles right off the coast here. Looked it up at 6 o'clock. So I was up and working all morning. And at 5 minutes to the top of the hour, well, Simone helped me because a lot of you guys forgot. We had daylight savings, so I was on the Zoom an hour early. But 5 minutes before the Zoom started, guess what just happened again? And everything. I mean, the power, the internet, the whole lot. Boom. Whole lot went down all over again. So we've got 127, 128, 29, and I've still got 1, 2, 3, half a dozen more coming in. So, you know, I don't feel so bad for Gordon and Joe and Curtis when they're late. I really apologize. Maybe I got to move back to North America. All right, let's start sharing the screen. Get you guys up and running. I'm already sharing, I think. I'm going to, all right, 126, admit all. Lots of them still coming in. That's great. Bill, Donna. Let me share my computer sound, stereo. That's too bad, but things happen, right? For all you Christians out there, pray to God. Like this, come on, man. Please. All right, I've got that done. Participants, let me find you, Mr. Ray, and I have to go to the yeses and Simone, ask you to unmute. We'll be underway in 2 seconds, folks. Gee, Ray, for all the times I told you I'm always great at this, but oh, you're already unmuted. Good for you, man. How do you do that?
I had 67 texts. What's going on?
Well, we've had 2, one at 3 o'clock and one at 5 minutes before the Zoom started. Okay, I just on, there you go. Very good. We're sharing. Everybody can see the screen. So enough with earthquakes and everything. 128. Way to go. You know, there's some people. I got to give one shout out. Ron Santoro, 2 days ago, said yes to me. He's already at 7. One a day is great, folks. One a day to have and roll. He's already at 7. Good on you, Ron. You know, folks, Adiamo, let's go together. If you guys knew it was my birthday the other day, got my birthday on, thanks to my kids. I get 1 shirt a year and 1 pair of pants a year. Shirt and birthday, pair of pants on Christmas. That's all I need. Adiamo means let's go together. And I'm going to play a clip right here now for you. And this is Gordon. And this is part of, before Gordon made this clip, and Gordon, Morton, and Joe Morton are the owners. They owned Gordon owned a media company. Well, he had another one that he did billions of dollars a year for how many years. But Gordon shared this vision. Then he made a clip. So look, if you're here for the first time, you're brand spanking new, and you may be with some other company or another venture, or even just in a business of not network marketing or whatever. If this resonates with you, if this doesn't feel like where you are and where you would like to be, I can assure you that this is what Oliabo is all about. Oh, sorry. Let's go back.
Sometimes it's the simplest ideas that make the biggest difference. A connection to nature, a quiet faith in the greater good, a home grounded in simplicity. It's the quintessential Italian belief that health, happiness, and food naturally intertwine. The belief that these ingredients should be blended with love and care. Now combine this with something just as essential, a belief that every person, regardless of background, deserves to be treated with dignity and respect, and deserves the chance to live up to their fullest potential. Now take this worldview and marry it with a truly unique idea at the right time. Well, that'll make people stop and pay attention. A truly unique idea has the power to change everything. It stands apart. It challenges the ordinary. And in its simplicity, it can move the world forward. That simple formula: love, health, respect, and a singular, simple, extraordinary idea has the power to change lives in our community, in our country, and around the world. Life is short. Timing is everything. And this fall, everything begins.
You know, timing is everything. I'm just looking over here, admitting the people into the room. Went from 36 last week on this Zoom to 133 and 5 more. We're climbing, folks. It's all about you. Oliabo is doing it all together. So Oliabo is the name of the country, the company, and Italian purity is where it comes from. That's the country. This whole thing was born, but it's American purpose. And this is the team. There's a gentleman on the call. His name's Ray Herron. He's the master distributor. Pardon me. He's the master distributor of this company. And Ray knew these boys before these boys. Actually, these boys, when they were boys, joined him in the team. So look, Ray's down there in Florida. Why don't you tell them a little bit about the owners, Ray?
I'd be happy to, Malcolm. Hey, listen, brother, praise God you're safe. And it caused quite a bit of turmoil here. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight. My name is Ray Herron, and I'm really fortunate to be here. I love these guys. I've known the Morton family for more than 30 years. Gordon and I have been in business together long before the success of the Zango company. And I'm going to be very brief because I want Malcolm to get to the content of this Zoom. But I trust these guys, and Gordon in particular is a very special friend of mine. Love him completely. Him and Joe both. Love the executive team. Folks, I've been 40 years full-time in the industry and have done extremely well. For 32 of those years, last 8 years, not so much. This industry had changed from what I remembered from the very beginning back 40 years ago. I think most of you on this Zoom here tonight would probably agree with me. The industry needs to change. If you're looking for change and a company you can trust, people you can believe in, that believe in appreciating their distributors and paying them properly, running a company properly, and doing things with ethics, this is the place to be. I promise you this one's the next giant in this industry. And in just a matter of a short year or two, you watch, Oliabo is going to be the poster child of this industry. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to turn it back to you, Malcolm.
Malcolm, you're muted.
I did mute myself because I didn't want my microphone picking up Ray speaking, give an echo. You know, I do know that there was a disruption at the start of this because Ray, you that Mr. Smooth, you know, I can tell you were just a little bit off. I apologize for you people that just came in. There's more people coming in right now. At 3 o'clock this morning, we had a big earthquake, and then 5 minutes before the clock, we were on the Zoom with Ray and Simone and a bunch of others an hour early. I forgot it was daylight saving. And then 5 minutes before, we had another one here, and everything went down. The internet, the electricity, the whole lot, everything just went boom, completely off. Admit all. There we go. This is branding, folks. The 50s. It was a great time. I was born in the 50s. Some of you on this call are in the 50s. But look, it's modern. They all got smartphones. This is the branding. This is part of the brand that you're going to be part of. It's going to take you from where you are. I want you to think really quickly. We're not going to spend a lot of time here. But most people, you know, we just said, Gordon talked about timing. Timing is everything. I know one thing in this business of direct sales, network marketing, MLM. When you're calling up people, talking to people, showing opportunity, it's all about timing, you know, because most of the time it's when someone's in trouble and they're going, oh, come on, God, life sucks. Things aren't going so great. I wish you'd help me. And then someone calls and they go, wow, thanks, God. But most of the time, well, it probably is God, but it's timing. It's timing because when life's okay, then you're not looking for something. When your health's good, then you're not trying, like Ray says, you're not trying to change your health. There's two things a lot of people want: Shortcut to better health and a shortcut to getting out of a financial pickle. Better wealth. Well, your timing is right now because you folks, the 140 odd that are on this call, 144 plus, are in the very beginning of a pre-launch that's about to launch in a handful of days. And Oliabo began, these boys, the Morton boys, their mother, right here on the picture, she was born and raised in Italy, in Treviso. And she did not go to North America until she was a grown woman, married a Canadian, Mr. Morton, obviously. But then the boys, they went back to Italy over and over and over again through their childhood, through their teenagers. And then as grown men with their own families back to Italy all the time, they realized there's one thing, that there was a blue zone in Italy, many of them. And where they were from, there was one of them. The people outlived everybody else. Blue zones where the centurions, people that lived above 100. And they started to look into it. Their mother kept reassuring them it was one thing, high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. That's what you're looking at on the screen. How many of you seen extra virgin olive oil come out of your olive oil jar like that? None. It doesn't look like that. That's because what we get in North America is not really extra virgin olive oil. It's this neon green. And it's been right in front of our eyes from the beginning of time. You know, it's in the very first chapter of the Bible. It's all throughout the Bible. It's actually my mate in Australia shared with me in the Quran. I should know that. I read the Quran 7 times. Used to do business in the Middle East. I want to know how they think. And it's there as well. It's right in front of us. In history, there's been a botanical, the olive. But we don't use just the olive. You're going to see we use the tree itself and the leaves and all part of it. And that powerful benefit, which we had no idea other than it's right there and people, you know, obviously, that's why in Italy you notice those blue zones is because they consume olive oil and it met modern science today. Well, actually 2005. 2005 is when people started to look at this. And modern science, empirical evidence, high-quality olive tree-derived products contain powerful phytonutrients, offer superior nutritional support. There was an awareness gap. This is your job. I'm going to give you a task as a member of Oliabo. We're going to give you all the tools. The Zoom's one of them, and you get to close that awareness gap. From here, the common belief that olive oil has been a very, very healthy part of the Mediterranean diet to the modern science that unlocked it all. Now, I got a message, and then I picked up the phone and called her straight away. I got a message, and someone asked about a post, and we filled that awareness gap. And that gal's on the phone. Let me put a gal's on the phone. Simone.
Malcolm, could you please record this? I don't see a recording.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I didn't restart it. Resume the recording. There we go.
Recording in progress.
There we go.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother.
Simone's going to headline this right at the start of the call. Simone Turner lives in Ontario, Canada. And I'm just going to ask her, you know, we don't have a testimony because she hasn't got the product, but she does have a testimony. Simone, why don't you take it away for everyone?
Okay, maybe can you stop sharing your screen maybe? And there we go. Hello. Hi. Well, thank you for inviting me on the Zoom tonight. It's an honor to be here. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad that your family is safe. I know, I mean, I haven't known you very long, Malcolm, and I think you've had 5 earthquakes. I think somebody's unmuted. Anyway, yeah, so I want to say that when I saw the opportunity, first of all, it was one of those things where it was actually okay. Thank you, Malcolm. He accidentally muted me. That's okay. Okay. We're just dealing with the technical difficulties tonight, and we'll just get through this. No problem. Anyway, so on thumbs up, yes. That was October 12th, and let me just gather my thoughts here for a second, but what I want to say is I had been open to something. I had officially left my previous company that I'd been with for a year. And I do have I've been in network marketing for 8 years. So at the beginning of that, I was with a company for 4.5 years. I was blessed, and I got to ride the CBD wave. Let's just say it was it was amazing, an amazing ride. But I knew when it was time to leave. So when I came across Malcolm's post, I had been officially, I resigned from another company in July. And I just trusted that because I knew it didn't align anymore. So I had looked at about 9 or 10 different opportunities, and it didn't resonate. And that Sunday was like a fateful Sunday. I turned on Facebook and there was Malcolm. And I realized we'd been Facebook friends, but we hadn't spoken before. And I saw a post completely unrelated to this, and something told me to scroll. And then he had one word, Oliabo. And I thought, what is that? So I messaged him, but right away I just had this, nudge. Anyway, I messaged him for more info. And while I was waiting to hear from him, I watched a video. He called me from the Philippines, and it would have been 10 o'clock, I think, your time, Malcolm. And we spoke for 3 hours. And I was on the Zoom that night, signed up, and I I was excited and I didn't even really know why. But when you know, you know. So I have been building a team, and the first person I reached out to is my friend Janine Curran. She caught the vision right away as well. And that's it. I've been sharing. I know Malcolm wants me to share how many I've brought in, but I'm building a team, and I'm having these organic conversations. And one thing, the Tuesday night call which was corporate, that call was amazing, and we learned about being a founding member, and they announced the trip to Italy. And I actually told Janine the day before, I had a dream about going to Italy, and I said, Janine, we were in Italy, and I said, um, wouldn't that be cool if that was their first trip? So when they announced it, I immediately put it on my screensaver because I believe in the law of attraction and manifesting, and I see it every time I open this phone, and I open the phone a lot. I want to give a shout out to some other team members as well. I've got Bill Wheaton. He's got a heart of gold, and Bill, I know you're on here. Bill from Tennessee. He's brought in some team members, and I've got Melanie Smith, and I got a couple of others who have brought in some people, but they wish to be anonymous right now. And we're just getting started. And the one thing that I want to tell it's not a race, and don't compare yourself. I don't have a system. I just believe in being myself, and everything checked it. All the boxes were checked off here. I have never seen a compensation plan with horizontal compression, let alone dynamic compression. And I don't chase the money. For me, I have to be passionate about products. I have a story that I won't be sharing tonight because it's my health journey. But I am prescription free. I've had a lot of issues with my health, and so I discovered CBD oil. I'm prescription free, and I'm no longer even taking CBD oil. It's changed my life. But I've always believed in the powers of the plant. That I have so many terms that I need to learn. But anyway, when you know, you know. And I don't want to take up too much time. And Malcolm, you've been amazing. You're an amazing sponsor. Had the pleasure of speaking to Ray a few times, and I just know that, I believe we climb together. And I reach out to my team members very regularly. I have a lot of people who are just going to be customers, and that's okay. So that's all I have to say. Of course, there's a lot more, but I want to keep it short, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Hey, welcome, Simone. There you go, folks. I know, she said. Ray says it. I've said it. When we both learned about this, we already knew the outcome. Ray will tell you about that at the end. We knew the outcome before we did it. We've both been in the industry a long time. And we knew what's going to happen for every single person here. So just have a little listen. Oliabo is the new standard of health, and it comes from the olive. The Mediterranean secret, well, we talked about, Gordon and Joe's mum made those boys every morning drink olive oil. That's part of it. And they kept on thinking, how come our parents on our mum's side and our grandparents and all the relatives, everybody's so different than the father's side. My little one's behind me. I'm on a Zoom, sweetie. Everyone are all so more healthier. They live way longer. Well, it's not because they drink 14 liters of olive oil and the Greeks drink 20 liters, and us Americans only drink 1 liter of crappy olive oil. It's because theirs is high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, and we have no idea what that is in North America. I'm not going to share the slide Gordon has, but we don't have what really is the ingredients that are in the olive plant. Now, here's third-party studies, but it supports cardiovascular. It supports longevity and mortality. We always want to look at this middle one. We want to live longer. Life's fun. You guys that are making it to retirement, I decided I was going to retire by the time I was 42. That was the year 2000. I was already there, but I've not retired because I can't help building things, having people successful, and I just love it. But you know what? My health failed me. There's some members on this call that remember that a couple times. And life's not that great. So if we're going to live long, we want to have great health, cardio health, brain health. This is such a problem today. It's getting worse and worse and worse with people. Digestive health. We've known that with other companies that brought us to the knowledge of the brain-gut connection. Normally now we play a clip, but because of the technical, we're going to save you some time. It's on the YouTube channel. You can go and watch these two Canadian doctors. They did a deep dive on olive oil and inflammation. That is the one that everything all the rest of this is tied to, is inflammation. So how does the olive pulp, the olive fruit, it's a fruit, the olive seed, and the olive leaf from the olive tree, how does it help us? It's the phytonutrients, it's the polyphenols. In that, what I just talked about, you can extract some ingredients. Now, look, write this down on a piece of paper, take a screenshot with your phone, do what Ray told me to do. Just go to AI and put this in. I have a screen coming up on that. Oleocanthal, oleuropein, verbascicide, oleocanthal. Go look it up. I looked it up on ChatGTP. It started pages. So I just went to Google to make this slide for you. Oleuropein. We also have what comes from out of the olive plant is squalene. We also have hydroxytyrosol, and you also have verbascicide. Now, if you go look these up, I'm not a science major at all, but I know for a fact from the people that I spoke to, which was the corporate boys first that had these tiny little vials of the reactions they were getting from it. And then from you heard Herron and his mother-in-law on last week's call, I knew that we really got something. Plus, for a plant to be such an ancient plant right in front of our eyes all the time. High phenolic extra virgin olive oil. Now, you're all wanting to know what's more of the science. You know what I know? Rather than me tell you, you tend to disbelieve it. Go look it up for yourself. Go look up these ingredients and you'll see. But how are we going to get you to drink 14 liters of high phenolic extra virgin olive oil? Or if you drink 20, we can't. We're not going to be able to do it. But they created a proprietary blend. They took what's in the olive plant, olive fruit itself, the olive pulp itself, the olive seed, and they also took what's in the leaf and they combined it. And they created this actually came from Gordon's cousin, Katia. She made this word up, olivectum. She said that on the corporate call. I saved that clip. I sent it all to you. Olivectum. And how do we get it? We get it with our core product, Prima. It's a life force from the olive tree. So you're not buying a great big bottle and trying to guzzle high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. If you did, you wouldn't want it, because if you ever had it, you'll notice something. One, it's not that great a taste. High phenolic extra virgin, you wouldn't want to put it on your salad. Two, it gives you this hot hit, a pepper hit to the back of your throat, makes you cough. But we've solved that. Ray talks about this, the convenience of it. So we've got your high phenolic extra virgin olive oil with all of those ingredients I spoke about in 4 pills. Well, Ray told me I'm not allowed to say pills. And they're capsules. I think you told me I was not even allowed to say capsules, right, Ray? What am I supposed to say here?
Gel caps.
Gel caps. And Ray had a chance to utilize these. So in the 2 green gel caps, let's go to the next slide. It's delivered to you in, great branding, folks, an olive oil tin. This is these boys and their branding. An olive oil tin is what your product comes to you in. And in that, there are 30 pillows. Here's the pillow below the tin. You look at the front, it's got Oliabo, the new olive standard. And there are 2 green olive gel caps. And that is full of oleocanthal and all the polyphenols infused with rosemary. And you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to take these gel caps. But you also want to get all the rest of the olive with you, from the pulp and the seed extract and the leaf. And that's where the olivectum comes in. So that's the little green pill. Remember the colors on the Italian flag? Green, white, and red. And then the Rosa blend, that's a grape seed extract and lycopene. Lycopene's that when you get a great organic, super good tomato and you bite it and you get that zing on your tongue, that's lycopene. So now you got this blend and you get up in the morning, you pop the tin off your olive oil tin and there's no oil in it. There's a pillow. You rip it off, pop those four capsules and take a swig and you're done for the day. Now, everyone that had a chance to get little tiny samples of this, maybe Ray will share it at the end of the call, what happened with him. They all said they noticed it right away. That's key, right? Within a day or two, there's no waiting a month or 2 months or getting told that you're detoxing or this is what's going on. They all noticed it and they all wanted it more and more. Now, we're opening in a matter of days. You're going to be able to start placing orders. Ray might cover this a little better. And we had one issue with the tins. So when you get your order, don't go, oh, Mel told me a story. No, you're going to get them in a pouch. See this pouch here on the right? That's a limited edition. Until the tins. There's a problem with the tin and to do with the tariffs, because I believe the tins are coming from outside the US. So they're getting it to you. They're not going to hold it up. They're going to get it to you in a pouch, but you're going to have the tins down the road. It's a 30-day supply, 1 month supply of the best botanical that you could come across. And this is what's going to drive this business for you, because some of you were part of a company that these boys did $1 billion a year in sales for many years. And I was part of another company, which was their competition. There's people on this call. And in the beginning, the products we used, just like what Simone shared, the products she used with that prior company worked. And when it works, when you got one that works better than all the others, word of mouth, man, people will tell you. They'll stop and ask you, like, what is it with you? How come you're like this? How come you're not limping anymore? How come? I'm not going to talk about it. You know, on the other one, I used to say you could take a drink of our product. You're running late for work, and maybe you took a shortcut around the back of the city through the train tracks, and you tripped over, and a train cut your leg off. So you take a swig and you grow back a leg. That's what I'm talking about here. But you know, when your life is great and you've got great health and nothing's suffering and all those aches and pains and all those problems that you have, and they start to go away and you see light at the end of the tunnel. And then when you add to that, what we're going to do in the second part of this call, when you add to that some financial freedom, you got a winner, folks. And we really have a winner. So Prima is our core product. And that's what our company's leading with. And on Tuesday's call, Gordon on the corporate call is going to announce about what's happening, how you order, and you folks being those first people in, guess what that means? You're first in line. You're honored before anybody else to get your orders. And then they're going to add before the end of the year. So in like less than a month after opening day, you're going to get our next 2 products. And this is Flex. And Flex is a joint muscle ointment. So it's the exact same ingredients, just done in a different formulation. And on that start where Ray was talking about the owners, you saw that great young looking gal, right? That's over there, Ashley Brown. Well, Ashley is a lot older than she looks. I'll give you that, folks. She's decades older than she looks. And Ashley's part of the formulating of the Flex and the next product. And this product, it's a transdermal ointment, meaning transdermal, it goes through the skin barrier, but it also goes deep through your muscles into your joints. And it's hyperfolic extra virgin olive oil, olivectin, mangosteen pericarp, and squalane. And this, when you put it on, and the people that Ton talked about it, you rub a couple drops in the palm of your hand, you heat it up to get it better activating, and you rub it on your afflicted sore parts, or your damaged parts, or the parts that are of injury. Like I've had an injury for 30, 40 plus years. You can't play 26 years of rugby and expect to get out of that scot-free. 6 knee surgeries. I cannot wait to get this. I cannot wait to get this for my wife. She has from birth this defect, and her back is in just so much pain ever since a little kid. I cannot wait, because I know someone, Herron's part, his testimony was all about his mother-in-law with scoliosis. And that's what Lucille has. So now you got something, and everyone that's tried this, the ones that got a little bit, they talked about within 15 minutes, the results. That's how they quick it acts. And it lasted a day. So just imagine someone's going to ask, like, hey, you're out playing pickleball and you have my sore elbows. I fixed it. How'd you do that? With this. And they try it and it works for them. And it'll spread like wildfire. Now, there's another product we want to look about skincare. I'm vain. I just had my 67th birthday on Halloween. That's why I'm a Halloween baby. And I worry about how I look. But you know, you gals, we know one thing with skincare. It's got to be antimicrobial, hyperallergenic, reduces inflammation, antioxidant, and skin barrier. And we got it all together in one. And Ashley helped formulate this. Yes, the Morton boys and the science team behind it and all the doctors, they are the ones that came up with the ingredients, but they could not get it where it didn't look oily and shiny on your skin. And Ashley shared it with them and how they could do that. So here's our product, Visalux. And you put this and you rub this on where you want to take away those aging parts and look young again. And no offense, gals, but we know when you walk into a big department store, what's that first big where the entrance is? It's always facial products for women and men. That's how big a market there is for it. So we've covered them. You're going to utilize Oliabo products to ingest and work from the inside out. And you're going to utilize Flex to treat topically and get that problem solved quickly. And you're going to utilize Visalux to change your beauty. But you know, there was an outcry from all the people in the beginning. What about cooking oil? What about using it for culinary? What about putting it on our salads? How can we get this high phenolic extra virgin olive oil? And the boys said, well, we can't just give you what's in the gel cap because it's not that great a taste. It's too hard on you. But they took their time and they came up with Oliabo's brand. So now that's added. So we got 4 products to come out with to drive this company. And they've all got a seal of authenticity. The products are all, the ingredients all sourced specifically in Italy from those blue zones. These boys spent all their time as youth and their family in the olive groves. And that's what they spent the last 2 years, sorting that out so they can have these ingredients with purity, quality, and trust and get it to you with a seal of authenticity. So you know you're getting the best. Now, I kind of covered quickly today what our product is. I'm excited about you guys being able to order because I know for a fact, once you guys get these orders and you start to use it, your teams will absolutely explode because you'll be sharing what happened to you. Testimonials. Facts tell, but stories sell. Now, there's a lot of stories our company put out themselves, Oliabo Official, and on the platforms of Twitter, Facebook. I just let Penny in. She must have got knocked off. TikTok, the whole lot. There's teams on this call. There's YouTube channels you can plug into. There's Facebook pages you can plug into. They're just tools. There's a message out there about Oliabo and closing that gap, that awareness gap from ancient wisdom to modern science. We give you all the tools to do that. And if you do that, you're going to end up with a lot of customers, but you're also going to end up with people that want to change their lifestyle. And those people that want to change their lifestyle might be you. One way I know about changing people's lifestyle is freeing them up, giving them freedom. Take that weight, that thing, that debt that you got that's on your shoulders. I've been there. I've been there twice. I mean, so busted broke. You have no idea how busted broke I was. And to get that weight off, I wasn't out of debt. I was just out of income completely. But when you got those debt, when you got a credit card debt and you're struggling to meet the minimum payment and it just never goes away because you're not chipping away at the balance, well, you got that. Well, speaking of credit cards, you got some debt from a bank where they talked you into consolidating them. $600 a month loan for that. But all of a sudden, within 5 months, you got 5 more credit cards and you're back in the same pickle with one extra one. You might have a car loan. I don't know what it is. It might be one of those bills. While we go through this part, I'm going to go through the business opportunity. I want to think about that one thing, that thorn in your side, that one thing that you hate every month coming out of your paycheck. And I'm going to show you how you can take this opportunity with this great product and by sharing it and offering it to people as a customer and then give them a notion, you could utilize this and get yourself out of the same pickle I was in. Share your story. Like Simone just shared, share what you saw with this company. And they may say, yeah, I want to go build a business as well. But when they do, they're going to realize one thing. It's the simplest thing I've seen. I love pay plans, right? I love math. And I was worried with these boys. I called them back twice about it. Ray was on the call with me. Well, what about this? Like, you sure we're not going to bust the pay plan? You sure there's enough? You sure? And they assured me over and over and over and over and over. The key to this is the simplicity. So we're going to go through it really quickly. You know how pay plans should feel like? Sunshine. Sunshine's not jumping through a million hoops. Sunshine's not at the end of the month calling a whole team. Oh, such and such didn't qualify director, and because they're not director, you as a director 3 are not director 3. That means your upline, a manager is not a manager. Remember all that? Remember, Pete, you want your team? America had a middle class, not to be in politics. It's disappearing. The biggest thing I know in network marketing, the greatest success I love, is not my check. It's not the other leaders' checks. It's that building that middle class of people making that $400, $500, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. Like, I understand being broke. I understand $400, how powerful that is compared to a $40,000 a month check. $400 to a single mom, that's the difference between buying Hamburger Helper. Not sure if you can buy that anymore. The difference between buying Hamburger Helper or putting real beef and fresh fruit and vegetables on the plate a couple more nights a week. It makes a huge difference when you can do that. That's what this whole pay plan is written for. You're going to see how simple it is to go out there and earn income, and it begins with me and 3. This is Gordon's vision. So you're going to get started by introducing people. Dick and Jane down here on the right, they're happy because someone just told them about the olive standard, Oliabo. And they're like, man, I need to change this in my health. Great. And they order. And when they order, you're going to get paid. Now, I'm just going to cover one thing right up front. We pay 50% out, not up to 50% or up to 60% like some companies say. And when we pay 50%, there's no gotchas in it. So when I spoke to you about PREMIO is $110. It's 100 points. That's a refreshing thing to hear. Some of you may not know it, like in the company you're in, the company I'm in right at the moment. Been with them for 8 years. I have to spend over $209 a month for my qualification minimum, which cost me $240 something by the time I get it shipped, plus taxes. But then I only get 107 points, and I need 110 to qualify. So I got to go buy another one little silly pack, qualify over that. So, I'm spending $250 to go and get 110 points. That's a 50% skim off the top. 90% of the companies out there are like that. So $110 for your PREMIO, 100 points. So a person comes on board and they say, yeah, I need to get my PREMIO. I want to be starting. I need to get my health turned from the inside out. And you get paid sprint money, and it's paid at the end of the week. And how's that work? Well, 25% of 100 points is $25. You get paid $25 when you introduce somebody. Now they introduce someone, you can earn $10, 10%. How do you do that? If you double down, if you have a minimum of 2 orders, 200 points, you get 2 levels on the fast start. So by doubling down, what would happen? Well, because you have your team members go, I would love to double down as well. So that would be $50, 25% on their initial order. And that would be $20 in their initial order. You know, those $25 and $50 and $10 and $20, they take the edge off those debts. You go out there, be like Joe, be like Simone, be like Joe. You know, Joe just earned himself, what is he on? $250 odd already. That's great, folks, right? You get it? Hope that wasn't my files going away. So we have great upfront sprint money. Now that's for the full 30 days. Here's another one where we took a gotcha away. A person comes on board. It is the 2nd of November. It's the 3rd here. 2nd of November there. So let's say we were already open. You could take an order. 2nd November, they join. Up until the 2nd of December, any number of orders they place. Doesn't matter if it's the first one or the 3rd, or they go, wow, this is incredible. I'm getting more of this. I'm going to get this one as well. I'm going to add to that. I'm going to get some Flex. I'm going to go out and get some Visa Lux. You're paid the same sprint money for that full first month. That's a great bonus for you. Now, there are people that just want to be customers or affiliates. So what happens there, our company will still always pay out the full 50%. So they're going to give 50% to for you to get a customer, and that's paid for life on everything. So that means $25 you get paid. Now, the rest of it, what I showed you, first and second level, that's half of that because we already paid out 25%. That's a nice bonus. Now we get into the residual. The monthly residual is the income that keeps coming in. You go out there and you tell your story. You can give them the facts after you tell your story, right? Facts tell, but stories sell. Tell them your story and tell it truthfully because they'll know and they will go, I want that. And when they do, they'll keep ordering because it works. And when they keep ordering, you're going to get paid again and again and again. And this is the money to get you out of debt over a handful of months, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. But then it also starts to give you a lifestyle of freedom where you don't have to worry about stuff, where you say, like, you qualify for the trip. And it was so much fun. You say to yourself, let's do that again. And your wife says, or your husband, like, shouldn't we plan ahead? No. You see, you're making great residual income. I know what this feeling's like. Yeah, I'll be there in 2 days. I'll fly business class. Just go book the ticket, right? Or I'd like to have that. Not, can I afford it? That's what this residual income does. It takes that question away. Can I afford that? No, I'd like to have that. That'd be good. I'd like to give my kids this. I'd like to be able to do that. So we have a baseline monthly pay. You're a rep. A rep is someone that has not even ordered. There you go. You could be, if you're so flat busted broke, you can't afford to order, you can join our company. There's no enrollment fee. There's no starter pack. There's none of that nonsense. These boys are so upfront and want you to win. And you can start introducing people and you will be paid on the monthly residual. Every time they reorder, you're paid on your first level, 5%. That's $5. As a Bravo rep, what is that? You've placed an order. You haven't built a team. You've placed an order. And what can happen? You know, you could even earn here where you haven't put people into your team. Why? Because you're going to see that we build 3 legs. Now, you can be wider. But as you build 3 legs, there are going to be people who are going to have to place people. And as those people get placed, they're going to end up in people's teams. Now you're at a kappa. And I'm going to show you this. Instead of going through this on this chart, which most people's brains and percent and go, Mel, I never even figured out ratios, let alone percent when I was at school. And for me, school was what, 45, 50 years ago? Yeah, 50 years ago. I love math, but I forget a lot of it. I just want you to pay attention to this one thing, 10%. See that third level? It doubles. So I'm going to show you something here about that. They put that there for one reason. This is actually Curtis convincing Gordon, we got to go ahead. We need to do this because that's an incentive to get people down to that level. And when you get people at that level and it doubles the income on all the orders, whether it's they're personally enrolled, because you can place your personally enrolled down there, or it's other people or people from above, or it's other team members, You get double the amount on that order, which would make you then what? Have those people get their 10%, so you'd help drive their teams and help them get 3 levels deep, which makes you, it's a brilliant plan. And that's on everybody's order after their initial 30 days. So let's break it down real simple. Someone comes in, they order Prima, 100 points. You, first person in line to rep, $5. $5. Third level, $10. $5, $5, $5, $5. It pays 8 levels. There's no diminishing. Notice that. No 2.5%, 1.25%, 0.5%, like all the others. $5, $5, $10 double, $5, $5, $5, $5. You know, with the team double down, going out there qualifying for 2 levels and going to get yourself to Prima, double down, that's $10 through all those levels and $20 on the third. That's double the income just for the person. And this is nice about customers. When you have a customer, you kind of lose that upfront money. Not with us, an affiliated customer, someone doesn't want to build a team. Every single month they reorder, you are going to get paid $25. You're going to get that 25%. And then the rest of the 50% of that money that's left is paid out. So it's half the dough, right? Got that? That's a really great thing. So you know what really gives you this lifestyle? It's a really simple system. Plugging into it. Teach 3 to build 3. That's how simple it is. Gordon wants you to teach 3 to build 3. There are 3 legs required to max out our pay plan. Now, you can have more than 3 legs. That's fine. So you begin at a Kappa. Remember, I told you it's Bravo and then the Bravo Kappa. And now you're at a Kappa. You've got 3 people personally enrolled. So I've got 3 couples. 3 couples personally enrolled. You've got one order, 100 points. They got an order, 100 points. You need 1,000 group volume. 1,000 doesn't make much sense, right? I've lost a lot of weight. I've started to exercise again. I think about, I could never do 1,000 push-ups if I tried. You know what? This is 10 orders and 100 orders. See, that makes more sense, right? So you have a team with 10 orders. So if you got 3 who have got 3, that's 12 people, right? 3 who have got 3. That's more than 10 orders. You're already 3 levels deep. And guess what? On that 3rd level, you're doubling your money. That's simple. No hoops to jump through. That's simple. Move up to Quinto. That's 5,000. That's 50 orders. So you're still at an order yourself. You got 3 teams. They've got 10 orders each in their teams, 50 orders in total. It's not perfect. It never ends up perfect. So you always, you know, you can have one bigger team. I'm going to solve a problem for you. Simone mentioned it, horizontal compression. Now we got to move up to 20. So that's 200 orders in your team. 3 teams of 50 orders each. More or less, it doesn't matter until you get to this. And you've got 3 personally enrolled. Notice you need 1 more. They don't have to have a team, but you need to have 1 more person enrolled. You know, right now, you're getting paid 7 levels deep on this lucrative pay plan. I'm sure you'd be able to say someone's going to notice something about you. You know, see a different walk you got, or see confidence, and maybe see an addition on your house. Like Bill and Mary, you finally got that extra bedroom. Your teenage daughters have stopped complaining to their friends at school. You solve a problem. That old car that always broke down, you got a newer car? Yeah, I'm with Oliabo, and I'm a venti. What's that mean? Well, it got me out of debt. Let me show you how. This is so simple. You notice there's no other hoops. It's just straightforward. Now to get to the crown. Remember that one on the end? It was red and there was a crown on the person's head? This is PREMIO. And PREMIO is where we unlock the door to some seriously big bonuses. So you've double ordered now. You're at a minimum of 200. And you have 3 legs, and 2 of those people, those personally enrolled, they're at double down orders, 200 points. The rest of your team only need to be at 100, but why would you do that? And you only need 50 orders, 200 orders, 200 orders, for a total of 500 orders in a team. Now, some leaders on this call, I know what they thought the first time. They were like, this is too easy. Ray knows this about these brothers. They want the average mom and dad to win. Yes, they'd love them to get to that 40, 50, 60, 100, 200,000 a month. Yeah, sure. But that doesn't resonate with them. You know what they want? They want that 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 4, 5, 6, 7, $8,000 a month. That middle class in this industry that never happens. That's what this pay plan's built for. You can catch on and start to get it here. You can do this. Each single one of you have never done it before. This is so simple. And because of that, they've added in a couple things to get rid of all the gotchas. One, streamlined compression. No matter what happens, they will pay out 8 levels always. There's no breakage to the company. Now, I put this graphic in. I'm not going to go through explain it. But if one person in that line is not qualified, that doesn't go to the company. It goes and finds the next person in line. And it'll keep on doing that. You know, Curtis said, Mal, I'll give you a better way to describe it. And he sent me the next 2 slides. You can get paid, even though we have an 8-level team, you can get paid 25 levels deep. You can get paid 70 plus levels deep. I know that. I was in a uni level and I was getting paid 50, 60 levels deep. That's important. So there's no gotchas. That's all I want to tell you. We're going to always pay it out. Now, Simone said sideways compression. You went, what's that? Never heard of that. Well, Gordon wants to make sure that you always get the maximum qualification, no matter how your team structure ends up. Because we all plan, right? How many of us have planned before, and the person we thought was going to kill it didn't, and the person we had no idea blew it up and ran away? Like Art Williams taught me back in January 92, the duds turn into studs, and the studs turn into duds, right? Well, here, horizontal compression is you can have more than 3 teams. Right? You're going to have a bunch of customers. When you got a product like this, you're going to have people to go, I want that. I really don't want to have to build a team, but I really want the product. I'm definitely getting the product. So with our company, and remember, whatever requirement you need for whatever level, it will take all the legs, no matter how many wide they are, and it will compress all of that sideways to fill in to make sure that you always qualify for what you have. And I'm not going to go through that example. My explanation was that simple. No matter how many customers you have, all their points will go to the lesser leg that you have to make sure that leg's at a qualification. It will always happen, and you'll always get everything else that you deserve. And you know, as a Premio, you get a global bonus. Now, this is the big, big, big money. In the last company I was in, I built a really beautiful home on the beach, big Thai Buddha home, Phuket, Thailand. I lived there 15 years. But, you know, in the first few years, there was a company called Zango. That was Gordon and Joe's company. They were co-owners with 4 other people. And that company killed it. That company, they were the poster child of the juice industry. They really did it well. And the leaders, they earned gazillions. And I used to think about that. And twice a year, they had a big retreat that they ran. Joe and Gordon did for their teams. And that was at Mangosteen Ranch, because their product was from the Mangosteen plant. Part of our product comes out of Mangosteen. And that was 100 meters up the road behind my house, right up on the hill above the beach. And they used to come down, Randy Gage, a whole bunch of those guys, Gordon, bring them down, and they would show me their quarterly checks. And their quarterly checks, Ray, I think if I remember right, were 3% of global pool, correct?
That's correct.
Ours are 5. Any other global pool I've seen, they're always 1, maybe 1.5, 2 if you're lucky. 5%. Now, those 3% pools, I thought I was making some seriously big dough. But when they showed me what they got, now, is this yearly? Look at this, folks, quarterly, every 90 days. Ray's going to talk to you about 90 days. Doing a 30-day blitz, putting your head down, tail up, and building for 30 days. Doing it again for another 30 days. Do it again for 3 30-day runs in a row. And you're going to get a quarterly bonus check. And that quarterly bonus check, you can go to your other half and say, look, I know, sweet, I've been head down, tail up, working hard. I know I haven't been devoting as much time to you, but guess what? Check this out. And you know what that check could do? Let's go take a flight down to Miami and get a boat over the Bahamas, and let's go to Atlantis Resort for 4 or 5 days. You deserve it. These checks, folks, are going to change your life. That's the big key. Let's get you to Premio, the easiest, simplest thing. And then besides that is reward strips. And they announced the first one already. But that's only going to happen if you allow the company and the products to fuel it. There's the company with the owners. There's the brand that they've got. There's the products. They're going to drive this whole thing. But then you're going to get Ray to tell you what you need to do, because you're the component that fills in that last secret to drive this pay plan to get it to where it fulfills your financial need. So Ray, you've had a taste of this quite a few times in your life. Why don't you share with them what they need to do?
I'll be happy to, Malcolm, and thank you very much. Everybody, look, Malcolm, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, good. Let me say a couple of things if I can. You know me, I'm just going to tell you what's on my heart. It's the way I am. I'm honored that all of you think I know I'm sitting back. You think I'm sitting back just texting, and I have been a lot. I've had literally dozens and dozens of texts from people offering advice and the various things, and some of you with an idea of how you think we should conduct these Zooms. I want to tell you in front of everybody here publicly, I appreciate you, Malcolm, so very much. I know how hard you work to put these presentations together. And for those of you that like what Malcolm has to say, just throw up some hearts down here. Let me look at them. I'd like to see them coming in. Malcolm, you're amazing. Thank you very much for everything that you do, everything that you do. And folks, let me say this to you, honestly. We all can get our own Zooms, our own Zoom rooms. You're welcome to get your own Zoom room. In fact, I encourage you to. When the company comes out, you know that I ask them for 3 5-minute videos, one on the company, one on the product, one on the compensation plan. Once we get those, hey, we'll teach you how to do your own Zoom, and you can do them in 20 minutes. But here's what I want you to know right now. Look at all these hearts. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your applause for Malcolm. I want you to know that we care deeply about you being successful. Honestly, we really do. And these are not easy to pull off. There's lots of technical challenges. Lots of things can go wrong. And I just tell you right now, just be grateful. Be grateful that we got a great place that we can bring people to. And I want to thank you personally from my heart, all of you. You took the challenge of mine last week to invite several people to this Zoom. And boy, we quadrupled the numbers, more than quadrupled the numbers, almost 5 times the numbers of last week. And that's the way we grow this business as a group together. I mean, we just all do the same thing. Can I talk to you about the recipe for success here at Oliabo? I've got a preview, and so did many of you on this Zoom here with me tonight. We got a preview of what happened beginning in the year 2002. There's some real similarities with this particular comp plan and the Zango comp plan. However, this one is considerably better. It took all of the good parts of the first one and just enhanced it. So here's what we did coming right out of the gate, and we're going to come out of the gate here. I'm going to tell you my personal prediction is 11-11. I think that's when we can start placing orders. So I want to encourage you, if you don't have your 3 and me, your 3 team members, we got the me because you're here. Get your 3 team members lined up, ready to go. This is exactly what we did in 2002 to put the Zango company literally in orbit. Every one of us, most of us, those that were serious about building our business, we understood this. And this is my formula for the absolute recipe for you to succeed and enjoy the financial benefits of building your business here in Oliabo. Get your 3 involved. If you haven't already, you've got some time to do that. You're welcome to get a lot more like Simone and many others on this Zoom here tonight, but at least get your 3. And here's what we do. When they say we can begin to order product, everybody gets on a subscription for 2 Primas. That entitles you to the double down, makes a great big difference. You can earn as much money with half of the amount of people if everybody gets on a 2 subscription of Prima. So do that first. Get your initial order, determine what's going to be available. I think right now, unless that's changed, subject to change, we'll be able to get the Prima
We'll order that and we'll be able to get the olive oil itself. I know those two are going to be available. And with a little bit of good luck, maybe one other product, possibly Flex. At least I hope so. They're working on it around the clock. So everybody has the same thing. We get three. We're on a Zango, we called it 2 cases of juice. Here it's 2 Primas. Same concept. Everybody duplicates that. We all just do the same thing. It duplicates 3, 9, 27, 81, 243. That's exactly how the numbers grow. It's exactly how your check will take off. I promise you, within month 1, you're going to be looking pretty good. You're going to be really glad that you listened to us. Folks, I got to tell you, and Malcolm is right. I know the outcome of this. It's the first time in my 40-year career that I'm able to say, I know the outcome of this venture before it even starts, because I've had such a preview. I had 15 years of hitting the longest ball of my career with the Zango Corporation, and many I'm looking at on this Zoom here tonight. I know you can identify and shake your head yes with me. We're at the right place at the right time. A good friend of mine says this often. He says, how many times in your life have you ever given it 100%? How many times? Boy, that would hit me pretty hard when I thought about it. Not too many times have I given something 100% in my life. But I can tell you what I gave 100% to 40 years ago. My introduction to this industry, my personal mentor, Mr. Jim Rohn, taught me this valuable thing. It's made me tens of millions of dollars. Jim Rohn said, Ray, if you find the right opportunity at the right time and you build your business literally as if your life was hanging in the balance for 90 days, it could set you up financially for the rest of your life. Folks, I don't guarantee financial success for any of us here tonight, but I've lived this for 40 years. It's my formula each and every time. And I've been fortunate enough to build businesses that some people thought was worthy of writing a story about. I'm nobody special. I can't possibly do anything in this business without the help of all of the folks like you on this Zoom here tonight. It's a together thing. It's a we thing, network marketing. So I took it to heart. Mr. Jim Rohn taught me that. I went for it for 90 days like my life depended on it, because it did. You know my story. Born very poor and really poor 40 years ago. Married with 3 children. My daughter was on the way behind in every bill I had. Life was tough. It was really tough for me. I felt like I had no choice. In fact, I really didn't. Money's not all that important in life unless you don't have enough of it. And it becomes about all you can think about when you don't have enough money to take care of people that you love, that you feel responsible for, that you want to care for. I wanted more than anything else for my children not to repeat the poverty life that I had growing up. And God answered my prayers. And I tell you, I've never looked back. If you want the secret, I'm giving it to you here tonight. Write it down. Say you heard it here. 90 days. They haven't hit the switch. They're going to, I think, 11/11, my own personal opinion, 11/11. You got a chance. You got a chance to give something your 100%. Maybe you don't need this as bad as I did 40 years ago. Some of you probably do. I want to encourage you. Hey, listen, if you don't need it, go ahead and do it anyway. There's a lot of good causes out there that you can donate to. It's a great opportunity. It's a great company. I feel so grateful every day. I'm glad to get up. I go to bed very late, work 14, 16 hours a day. I'm giving it my 100%. And I want to challenge you to give it your 100%. You'll be glad that you did. This is going to be the most fun you've ever had in any business adventure you've ever gotten involved in. This one is the place to be. It will be a giant. No matter what Ray Herron does, no matter what you do, trust me, you heard it from me. This one is the next giant. We're going to hear about Oliabo for the next decade. We're going to hear it everywhere. We're going to dominate this industry. And I'm so glad you're here early on. So, don't get caught doing less than you're capable of doing. Just give it everything you got. And I promise you, we'll be here as cheerleaders for you. And I'm going to help you all that I possibly can. Love you all. Thank you so much for showing up tonight, bringing so many people to the call. Let's do the same thing. We got another call coming up Wednesday night. at 8 o'clock Eastern time on this same Zoom link. I'm praying that Malcolm is through with the earthquakes for a while. What a challenge tonight, but also what a fun time. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Malcolm, I love you, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray. Thanks, everybody.